What is up, you guys? Welcome back to me and UTV Reviews. I am your host, Mel, and tonight, y'all, we're doing something new. But before we get off into that, first off, let me say I hope that you guys are enjoying your weekend, okay? Um, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. We just finished the second fight for this weekend. For those that watched the other fight on Netflix yesterday, Netflix, you're gonna have to do better. I was fine watching the fight. I didn't have any issues, but for a lot of people, yeah, there were some frowny faces. So Netflix, you're gonna have to do better, okay? Now, second order of business before we get started. Shout out to Tennessee, whoever you are, for commenting on High Potential. Yes, they came in my comments and was like, girl, I was ready for you to do this. So thank you. Check it out. I love High Potential, y'all. Okay, that's one of my favorite shows. And they also hinted at the show that we're going to be discussing today, which is Cross, y'all. Yes, this is season 1, episode 1, titled Hero Complex. All right, now that we got all them pleasantries out the way, let's go ahead and get into the synopsis real quick. Oh, one more thing, y'all. I just want to give y'all a praise report. So, y'all remember I told y'all that I was nervous yesterday because I had saw Brown Recluse in my closet, and that's where I normally record, right? So, went to town. I could not go to sleep with with everything standing as it was, y'all. Was washing everything that was on that side where it fell today, and I found it, y'all. It was dead. So, whew, I feel so much better. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the synopsis real quick, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So, the synopsis for this one is Washington, D.C. Detective Alex Cross is called to solve the case when a Black Lives Matter activist is killed in cold blood. All right, y'all. This episode was pretty good. This was a pretty good starter, so we'll see what happens from here. So, we begin the episode with Alex and his wife, Maria. Now, they happen to be out on a double date with their friends, and they're in Washington. Now, y'all know that they recently changed it to the Commanders, which was a weird name, but I guess we could have came up with something definitely better than that, but not as offensive as what it was. So, anyway, they're out on a double date, and their team scores, and so, of course, Alex and his girl start kissing. Right now, I don't know how long they've been married for, but they act like they're in their honeymoon phase. Anywho, before it gets too hot and heavy, Maria and her friend Onika make their way to the bathroom. So while they're gone, him and his homie John are talking about how bad Alex is making everybody else look when it comes to showing his girl some PDA. And in mid conversation, they hear a shot be fired. And so Alex rushes over to find his wife, y'all, Maria, on the ground, bleeding out from a gunshot wound. And it happens so fast. And so he's cradling her in his arms in her last moments. And before you know it, we couldn't even blink twice, y'all. She was gone. Oh, it was so sad. I was like, dang, we ain't even made it 2 minutes into the show, and here we are. But I guess you got to go ahead and set that so we can get to the rest of it, right? So we fast forward to a year later, and we see that he is putting in a leave of absence request when he overhears an interrogation that's currently underway for a guy that's being accused of murdering his pregnant wife. Now, in the interrogation room, this man is so cold, y'all. He's so dismissive. It's nauseating how dismissive he is about his dead wife and his unborn child. And so he never cops to ending her life, but he does say that he wants to speak to a doctor about being mentally ill. That's the route we're taking. That's what you're going to try to plead to? Insanity? Oh, okay. So the two detectives that are running point on this case are Detective Akbar and Detective Hardy. Now, normally I don't throw race out there unless I have to, and in this instance, I have to because the guy that they are interrogating, Randy Miller, oh, he's definitely a racist. Definitely. And so Detective Akbar is black and Detective Hardy is white. Now, Miller ends up making some very derogatory comments, not only about Akbar being black, but his son as well. I was like, why you gotta bring the kids into it? So, of course, him being the father that he is, y'all, he snatched that man up out his seat. And so they was like, get him out of there. Get him out of there. You know you can't be doing that. You know we trying to build a case against this man. Why would you do that? Why would you jeopardize the case like that? And so the people that are getting on to him are Lieutenant Massey and Detective Vega, because it's like, come on. He already not giving us nothing. You trying to make it that much more difficult for us to go ahead and actually bring charges against this man. And they was like, well, we ain't got nothing no damn way, because he ain't saying nothing. And insert Alex Cross. Oh, but you actually do. Y'all just didn't hear it. And so here come Alex Cross, y'all. And might I say, he's got big peen energy when he walk in that room. I'm telling you, like, confidence through the roof. Through the roof. It's just blowing the roof off. So he was like, oh, what can I call you, boy? And he was like, oh, I know what you want to call me, but what you can call me, what you will be calling me, is Detective Alex Cross. And he was like, are you a doctor? And he was like, oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am a doctor. I'm a doctor of, I think he said psychology or something like that. I was like, come on, Mr. PhD. Yes. And so he ends up asking Miller, does he know the concept of free chicken? Now, this was a term that was used back in the military to obtain an objective for free without having to work for it, hence the free chicken. Now, as he's asking him this question, Miller makes a very snide, racist remark towards him about being smarter than both he and Akbar because, you know, genetics and all. We're the superior race, right? So Alex was literally 2 seconds away from whipping his peanut on him, but he did walk up on him. He put it in his face and was like, oh, well, since you want to talk about genetics, my peen is bigger than yours. And he was like, what did you say to me, boy? He was like, I said my penis is bigger than yours. And so everybody behind the interrogation wall was like, did he really just say that? Did he say what I think he just said? Yes, he did. I was like, oh, I like him already. So now, of course, Miller is trying to act like his comment didn't faze him at all. He was like, I ain't said nothing. You ain't fazed me. He was like, oh, baby, I got several keys to all the mansions in your head right now. Because you're tensed up, your neck is flush, your eyes is tight. And then he reiterates what Miller said about life's fitful fever, which was a phrase that was used in Macbeth to explain the affliction that's caused by guilt. So it sounds like they have enough to charge old boy with murdering his wife. And oh yeah, by the way, good luck making it to your arraignment to your arraignment with a mouth like that, sir. Because you are in DC. Good luck. So we then cut to a man that is being held hostage, Dexter style, by a mysterious figure who has not only added this guy's picture that is in his death layer, but another man's picture as well to his death book that includes the likes of serial killers like John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, and all them bad folks like that. Okay. Now, as he gets ready to take that guy out, the one that's in his death layer, some kids who are playing basketball discover the other guy that was left dead in his car by him. So downtown at the courthouse, there's a protest going on about somebody named Amir Goodspeed, and we find out that that's the guy that was discovered in his car dead. And Chief Anderson is demanding to talk to Lieutenant Massey now. She wants Cross and Detective Sampson, who is his friend John, that he went out on a double date with, to take over Amir's case. So Amir was a former gangbanger who turned activist, and was working to defund the police. And just when it looked like he was gaining some traction in his community, in his neighborhood, somebody snuffed out his life. So they want Cross to work it because they know that Cross knows the community very well. Okay. But she wants him to try to give a speech to the press to try to calm the angst in the community down. She wants him to give a speech in about an hour. He was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. Now, while I will be taking over this case because I want to solve this case for the department, I refuse to be your token blackie. I ain't doing no damn speech. And speech he did not do. Like I said, he running things around there. So him and Samson get filled in about the case from Detectives Vega and DeLackner. And we find out that he, being Amir, was found with a syringe next to him in his car, along with a bag full of meth that was left in the cup holder. And although this looks like your typical OD to most, like people on the law enforcement crew, to people like his family members, his really close friends, to people like them, they know better. They believe that somebody definitely staged his death. And to take it a step further, they believe that it's somebody on the police force. And so, of course, once they discovered Amir's body, they tried to go talk to the family. But the family is on their NWA vibes. F the police. We ain't got nothing for y'all. Do your job. So they pay the family another visit, them being Cross and Samson, and they're greeted by his sister Malika, and y'all know she already know what they there for. Oh, so they sent y'all to do their dirty work, huh? Come on in. So of course there's no love lost between the two, but Malika does drop some clues that point to this being more than an accidental OD, like law enforcement is trying to explain this off as. And so she says that there are several things that just don't line up, like the fact that several of the Ferguson Black Lives Matter activists have been turned up dead, that Amir's locks have been cut, and that he was also a diabetic. So he knew damn well not to mix meth with his medications because that would have put him in a coma, which 9 out of 10 times would have ended his life. So he wouldn't have done that anyway. And besides, everybody who knew Amir knew not to touch him as far as like trying to sell him anything, because if they did, then they was going to have to deal with his cousin Tavio. And Tavio don't play about Amir. Nobody had beef with Amir. The whole hood loved him. So they just don't know why somebody would want to do something like this. So Alex ends up talking to Amir's mom, and she shares how rough it's been getting through these last couple of days without him, because she's got all of these little reminders of him all around her house, like his toothbrush and that damn turkey bacon in the fridge. So it turns out, y'all, that when he was locked up, he had converted to Islam. Okay. And so there, of course, was no more of him eating pork. And so when he got out, he had gave her an ultimatum, because she was like, you can't be eating that turkey bacon up in here. Okay, that ain't the way of my house. And so he was like, if I can't eat my turkey bacon, then I'm out the door. And he left. He left, y'all. Now, Alex also shares that he had recently lost his wife. Now, of course, this isn't the same as burying a child, but he does understand the pain somewhat that she feels. And so, of course, they cry because she just misses her son so terribly. And he promises her that he's going to catch the person that's responsible for his death. And so we find out also that he has 2 babies that he shared with Maria. One of them is named Janny, who played the youngest daughter in the first season of Them. And then his son, Damon. And he takes them over to his Nana Mama's house. That's what he calls her. So I'm going to assume that that is his grandmother. Okay. And so when he takes him over there, she's telling him she wouldn't know what to do if she ever lost him. And Damon asks the same question, how would you respond or how would you react if you lost one of us? And of course, Nana's like, baby, don't talk like that. Don't you be speaking like that. We don't want to put that negative energy out there at all. Now, Alex doesn't have any time to react to the question, but I hope that that is not some source of foreshadowing. I really do. Now, Alex dropped them off over there because he's finna get ready to go to a charity event with a woman named Elle. Now, I've never seen her in anything else, y'all, but she's very pretty and they look really good together in this show. So he's finna go mix and mingle with Elle while Jenny is forced to go to track practice. So at the event, he's chilling with Elle when her friend Ed comes by their table and he mentions hearing about him taking over the Amir case. And I'm just like, okay, word must travel really quickly, or you must already be in them circles for you to know this, because didn't this just happen like same day? Or am I tripping? So he goes on to say that he just hopes that this brings Amir's family some closure, unlike himself when he lost his mom several years ago while he was still in college. And he goes on to say that his mom's case still remains unsolved to this day. And so he was like, damn, I really hope that that turns around for you. And Ed ends up giving Alex his card and offers to add him as Elle's +1 at his future function. And Elle was like, boy, we got to see if he make it that far. Yeah, okay, girl. Okay, girl. Meanwhile, as Nan is headed to practice with the kids, we see a mysterious figure get out and go in the house. And we see them start to walk around the house. They take a picture of Maria with the kids. They add a scarf to the closet and is just getting ready to leave when Jenny has to come back to the house because she done forgot her running shoes. And so just as she's entering her room, y'all, whoever this intruder is closing the closet door, but readies him or herself by pulling out a hunting knife. Now, I was trying because, like, the way that they were walking, it kind of seemed like it was a woman at first. And then I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's multiple people. I don't know. But I swear, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that's a woman. Okay, but we'll see. So, anywho, the intruder pulls out a hunting knife. And although Jenny gets really close to opening up the closet door where this person is hiding, she never opens it up because she ends up spotting her shoes right next to the closet. And I was like, damn, was you really finna stab Jenny up like that? Y'all, that would have been awful. So, anywho, Shannon and her mom, there's this random lady named Shannon. And her mama, they're talking about a newly acquired position that Shannon just got. She just got hired for like an interior designer or something like that, and she at some hotel. And although it's a job, she's not quite fulfilled in what she's doing. She doesn't want to seem ungrateful, but she just thought that she'd be doing something different at 32. So as they're having this conversation, they're waiting on their coffee to get finished. So the barista finally calls her name. And as they're walking away, y'all, the barista takes her picture. And it's a guy, okay? So I was like, what the hell? So Cross and Samson go to visit the ME, who tells them that Amir died of an overdose, but he doesn't believe that it was suicide due to the fact that his food hadn't even had the chance to start digesting before he was killed. Now, I don't know what the statistics say, but I was like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. But just know that he said that, okay? So we meet a guy named Bobby Trey who is tearing up some fries with like some sauce on it. Apparently, it's like a local thing with this sauce that he's got on his fries, y'all. It look kind of good. He tearing it out the frame while he's waiting at the barbershop to get cut up, right? And so just as he's finna get ready to hop in a chair, he receives a text from somebody saying how they've noticed this same car following them again. And so there's a picture of the car with the license plate, right? So they meet with chief and lieutenant, Chief Anderson and Lieutenant Massey, where Chief is wanting updates on the case, and despite what she wants to hear, Alex believes that Amir was murdered. He talks about the meth and how it would have killed him. So if he knew that one bag of meth would have killed him, why would he have two bags instead of just the one? Because remember, he had already OD'd off of the one, so why would you have an extra bag sitting in the cup holder? It don't make sense, right? And so he also talks about how his locks and his beard were cut and shaven off before he died. And that's a big no-no. He had a beautiful head of locks. There was no way that he would have cut his locks off for any reason. He might have shaved his beard down or something like that. Yeah, maybe so. But he wouldn't have cut his locks off like that. And the fact that the last meal that he had, y'all, his last meal consisted of pork chops. Again, completely goes against everything that Amir stood for currently. And so Alex feels like whoever's doing this is killing in a very particular way. There's a certain message that they're trying to get across. The chief can't believe what she's hearing, but because Lieutenant Massey has so much faith in Alex and Samson is going to ride with his partner till the wheels fall off, he going to go with his gut, and his gut say trust whatever Alex say. So she was like, all right, whatever. I can't believe this, but yeah, I'm going to give you 48 hours to cement your case. So in the killer's lair, we see him adding Amir's picture next to some other killer, excuse me. Amir's not a killer, but we see him adding Amir's picture next to someone that is a serial killer named Sandman, who looks just like Amir after whoever this killer is made the appropriate cosmetic adjustments to Amir's appearance. And the next victim that he's got his sights set on is Shannon, because she looks just like the serial killer Eileen Warnock. What's the motive behind this? What message are we trying to send here? Because they're not the serial killer, so why are we targeting? Okay. So Alex has finished putting together his investigation board when Samson joins him, bringing up the fact that he's received flowers twice this week from some random person, and makes the comment about it not being creepy if it's a bad chick on the other side of these Post-it notes that's left behind with them. Now, this note says something about thank you for saving the world one criminal at a time or something like that. It was something cheesy, but it was creepy, right? Who's sending you these damn flowers? So Vega shows up and brings up the possibility that this may not even be a girl. And I was like, you probably right. I don't I don't know at this point, y'all. And whoever this is, they're clearly playing mind games with Alex. But Vega comes with information. Now, apparently the last call that was made from Amir's phone was to a burner phone, which will take a couple of weeks to get the information from. But he was like, actually, you know what? I'm going to go try to see if I can pull some strings with Kayla to see if she can get me this information a little bit quicker. So just then he ends up getting a phone call from his Nana telling him to get down to the school because Damon done got in trouble for wearing some old Washington Commanders Perry, you know, the offensive line. But as soon as Alex sees what he's wearing, he knows exactly whose it is. It's Maria's. And this was the one that she had on the day that she died. So after some probing, he finds out that he got it out of Maria's closet, which is terrifying news to him because that means that somebody was in his house. But he plays it cool, and he ends up asking the principal for a plastic bag so he can try to lift some potential prints off of the scarf instead of, you know, just like tossing it and the evidence getting away from him. So very smart, very quick to think on his feet like that. And so he takes it to Samson so he can have his homeboy Quincy try to lift some prints off of it, because he can't take it himself, because if he did, then of course this would have some type of negative blowback on him. And we find out that Samson is responsible for him getting put on leave for 6 months in the first place. But if you ask Samson why he did that to his homie, he was like, man, I was just trying to look out for you. You my friend. I know you need to talk to somebody because you damn sure wasn't talking to me. So you need to get some help. I was just trying to look out for you. That's the least that I could have done for you as a friend since you weren't talking to nobody. I knew you was grieving. You needed to get it out. So my bad, I was just trying to help. And so he was like, man, what I really want you to do is take that scarf to Quincy. Thank you. Friend. So he ends up going back home, and he gets cameras installed at the house because you can never be too safe, especially with somebody tiptoeing in and out of your house like this and you not even knowing. Now, he does tell Nana about what's going on, and although others may think that he's crazy, she wants to remind him of how much he's loved by not only her, but by his community as well. And so he ends up meeting with his old colleague, Kayla, who worked on one of the major cases that got him so much exposure. And so he's meeting with her in hopes that she'll get him the burner information sooner than later. But before they get to that, y'all, she tells him about a little rumor that she heard that he was taking a break from Metro. And so she was sent to offer him a position at the F, the B, and the I with her. But he politely turns her down because he can't afford to travel. He got the kids, so he needs to stay local to make sure that he's close to them at all times. And so she agrees to help him, although she may get in trouble by breaking certain protocols. But looking at that fine piece of chocolate, y'all, it is so hard to say no to somebody like him up close. Yeah, they definitely done smashed before. I could see it. And if they haven't smashed, they got really, really close. Real close. Next, we see our killer creating a dating profile to be matched with Shannon. Why is the killer Ed? Ed is an Elle's friend that Alex met at the charity event the other day. The one with the unsolved dead mama's case. I didn't mean to say that like that. That sounded so insensitive. Let me fix that. Ed, the one whose mother's case is still unsolved. Him. He's the killer. So Alex shows up to a dinner party and is questioning Samson to see if he's gotten around to getting his scarf to Quincy. But Samson is like, hey, bro, you got to chill out because, one, this ain't going to bring Maria back. You got to grieve first, because if not, I'm going to find you just in the nick of time again before you take somebody out. Because apparently there was a situation a little while back where Alex thought that he had found the person responsible for Maria's death, and he was finna get ready to take him out had it not been for Samson popping up when he did. So Elle breaks up the conversation just as things are getting heated, but that's just a temporary fix because literally 30 seconds later, y'all, Alex is calmly yet aggressively arguing with one of the other dinner guests named Jared, who is making his stance about the police and how much he hates them very well known. And now I think Alex was kind of surprised too to find out that Elle is also for defunding the police because she feels like that money can be spent in other ways. But then Jared throws around a hypothetical. And so then Alex throws around his own hypothetical. And he was like, so hypothetically, if somebody were getting their ass beat for talking cash money at a dinner party, you would want to get some help. Who would you call? So he went from a hypothetical ass whooping to a literal one by pinning him up and trying to whoop him. But thank goodness for Samson, y'all. I'm telling you, he been in the right place at the right time all the time. Thankfully, he's there to de-escalate the situation. You see what I did there? He de-escalated the situation. All right. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Now, as all of this furniture shuffling is taking place, one of Elle's family heirlooms ends up getting broken in the process, and she is pissed. But she tries to get to the bottom of what's going on with her baby boo. Okay, he needs to talk to somebody, and she knows that he gonna self-destruct real soon if he don't. But he tells her that that won't do no good no way because he done already tried to talk to doctors, to therapists 2 times over. And he's been told that he's got a hero complex. And having that and not being able to protect the love of his life when she needed him the most, that will forever mess him up. He'll never forgive himself for that. But she encourages him to do whatever it takes to get through it because you got to be there for them kids. The kids are dependent on you. And while I understand that you are hurting right now, it's something out there greater than you. You got to learn to get past it. So on Sundays, Alex has this really cute tradition that he does with the kids. He likes to play the piano until both kids come down and give him a kiss. It's so cute, y'all. So both of them do. And before Damon goes to go eat breakfast, he apologizes for lashing out at him, to which he accepts and says that sometimes he too gets angry because he no longer has his mom and it's very upsetting to him. And he does the silent cry, y'all, and I felt so bad. They ended up going to church and lighting some candles for Marie and saying some prayers for her. It was really sweet. So then he ends up going to the gym. And he's working out when Kayla comes through with some great news. Turns out, y'all, that she was able to get surveillance footage of the person who owned the burner phone. And the person that the burner phone belonged to was Tavio. Now, I forgot to mention a little earlier in the episode that Bobby Trey went to one of his homies that work in the police station to get the owner of the tags on that car that's been following the person who he was texting. And that too came back to Tavio. Well, lucky for Alex, he knows exactly where to find him. And that's currently at a rally/mural dedication for Amir. Now, as Tavio is going to go pay his respects, they roll up on him to ask him some questions. And of course, he takes off, right? Because they put him on blast in front of everybody saying, hey, we know that you was the last person to speak to Amir. We just want to talk. Now, of course, you can't trust the police. And so he takes off, right? So he ends up taking a shot at them before running into this apartment building and taking a random tenant hostage. Now, they managed to talk him down, and it's clear that he knows something, but he wants to talk to his lawyer first before he says anything to them. Okay, cool. We gonna go down to the station and we gonna have a conversation. That's it. That's all we want to do is we just want to talk. So as they're escorting him to the squad car, y'all, Tavio catches a hot one through the frontal cortex, which kills him instantly. Got shot right in the dome, y'all. And we find out that the person that's responsible is in one of the surrounding buildings. Y'all, it's Bobby Trey. He's disassembling a sniper rifle. What the what? And did he do this on behalf of his client, whoever his client was? Because that's what he told the person in order to obtain the identity of the person who owned that car. Who is your client? So Alex meets with Lieutenant Massey, where she reveals that because the protesters for Amir now believe that the police are 2-0 when it comes to killing innocent people, Chief Anderson wants to flip the script and spread the narrative that Tavio's murder was in retaliation for Amir. But I was like, how? Because they had literally just did the chasing. That was the only thing in between him paying his respects in front of all of these people versus when he was getting escorted out and he caught the hot one. So how? How did somebody come up with something that quick? But they both know that that ain't true. Okay? They can only get true justice for both of them once they find who the real killer is. Speaking of, Bobby Trey calls Ed to complain about how sloppy he's being right now. So Bobby Trey and Ed are in cahoots. Ain't that crazy? Y'all giving us all of this right now? So apparently they had the understanding that they weren't going to be knocking out people that meant something to, the community or something to somebody else. They had to be basically nobodies. But he says, calm down. He being Ed, calm down, okay? I'm not being sloppy. I'm inevitable. And I was like, what does that mean? You was just gonna happen anyway. And so as he's saying this, y'all, he's matching with Shannon on that dating site. So we know that Shannon's time is ticking down real fast. So Alex comes back home where Samson informs him that they were able to find a strand of hair tied around the scarf, and that strand of hair belongs to someone of the Caucasian persuasion, but it's still going to take a few weeks to identify just whose it is. Just then, he notices that somebody is leaving something at his front door, so he opens up the door to find some flowers on the porch. So he goes to chase down the guy to see if he knows who ordered these flowers, but the dude was like, hey man, I don't know nothing. I'm just doing these deliveries. What? So then when he comes back in, Samson done grabbed the flowers off the porch by then, y'all. He done opened up the envelope. Why is it Maria with the kids, that same picture that somebody took earlier from their house in the episode? Why is it Maria with the kids with her eyes scratched out? Just disrespectful. So suddenly his phone rings, and the stranger on the other line is taunting him about knowing Maria's last words. And when he asks who it is, where you at? The mystery woman tells him not to worry because they gonna meet soon. Oh, we gonna meet soon. And she hangs up. And he's left to stare out the window wondering who out there wants him dead. And that's the way the episode ends, y'all. Told y'all it was good. Okay? Now, what we not gonna be doing is a whole bunch of episodes in 1 week because Amazon, along with some of the other streaming platforms, have this really bad to where they drop half the season or the whole season all at once. And that's exactly what Amazon did. So y'all can creep on along if you want to, ease on down the road if you want to. But me, as for me, I'll probably give you like 2 episodes a week. Okay, now I don't know if it's 8 or 10 episodes, but we'll probably get done with this before Christmas. All right, that's all I got, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Did you like it? Did you love it? Do you like the fact that they're releasing all of these at once? My friend, if you ask her, oh, she loves it. And I was like, girl, the quicker you watch these episodes, the quicker you gonna run out of things to watch. So just pace yourself. Okay? Now she watch a whole bunch of shows, so she ain't got to worry about that. But for y'all that have a hard time finding stuff like me, we gonna pace ourselves, okay? But y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. Y'all, I love y'all. Shout out to my Uncle Reggie. His birthday was the other day. Happy birthday. I love you so much. My dad's birthday is coming up too. It's too many November babies, y'all. We got a couple birthdays after that. My friend Trinity, one of my besties' moms, her birthday is coming up too. So happy birthday to all my November babies, all right? If you are celebrating, please stay safe. All right, that's all I got for now. So until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.